not know. But how am I gonna live my life if I'm positive? Is it gonna be a negative? Or how am I gonna live my life if I'm positive? But how am I gonna live my life if I'm positive? Is it gonna be a negative? But how am I gonna live my life if I'm positive? I try to give myself a risk assessment. The waiting is what can really annoy you. Every single day is more paranoia. I'm reading about how it gets transmitted. Some behavior, I must admit it. Well, who I slept with and who they slept with. Who they slept with. I think about life and immortality. What's the first thing I do if I'm HIV? I have a cry and tell my mother. Get on the phone, call my past lovers. I never thought about infecting another. The times that I said, don't bother. Was it really all that magic? The times I didn't use a prophylactic. Will my whole life have to change? Will my whole life remain the same? Sometimes it makes me wanna shout. All these things too hard to think about. A day to laugh, a day to cry, a day to live and a day to die. Till I find out, I may wonder, but I'm not gonna live my life 6 feet under.